I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to ihsaafoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Class 4A Sectional 5 championship game here at Carroll High School. I'm Thad Goff, bringing you the broadcast. My camera operator tonight is Lindley Kistler. And tonight we've got a championship game here at Carroll High School between the Legends of Northside and the Bruins of Northrop. Now, it's a 15-9 record for Northside, a 5-18 record for Northrop. Northside, no doubt the favorite, but they got a good battle from Snyder last night, and Northrop gave them a good battle earlier in the regular season. That game featured a final score of 74-73. The Bruins coming so close to getting a marquee victory against Northside, but Northside was able to hold them off. Bruins got big performances from Dalman Alexander. He scored 25 points in that game. Jaden Schmenk had 17, and the freshman Don Lorray Reese had 14. Dallas Lawrence, the junior, had 11 in that game. For the Legends, their leading scorer in that game was Briante Johnson. He had 16 points. He was the only, he had 47 points. He made 16 field goals out of 26 attempts. Shot at 62% from the line. But Tate finished the game with 47 points, an outstanding performance for Johnson. Brayshawn Bassett finished that game with 11 points. And again, that was a one-point game. The Legends winning that one 74-73. Could we have just as interesting a game tonight? Now, Northside in the first game built up a big lead against Snyder, got it up to 13 points in the first half, but then Snyder came roaring back, and it was largely some good three-point looks that they were able to knock down. Quaylen Clopton hit a number of those, but it wasn't enough as Northside was able to close it out in the end. And in the second half, Briante Johnson didn't quite score nearly as much as he did in the first half. He had a great first half, had 19 points in the first half. But in the second half, it was Jackson Fugate who helped to close it out. He finished the game with 22 points, and I believe 13 of those points came in the second half. So Fugate was the big-time closer for Northside. We'll see what happens in this particular game. Northside used a lot of 1-3-1 defense against Snyder. But when Snyder was able to find open guys, they were able to knock down their shots. It was simple as that. Northrop played a lot of man-to-man defense early on against East Noble, but then switched to zone. And one thing to watch out for is the defense of Northrop, because Dalman Alexander, he was guarding Hunter Klein most of last night. He was the best scorer for East Noble, has been for most of the season. And Alexander was able to hold him to just one made field goal, 7 points total, and only one make from the field. Great defense by Dalman Alexander. Did well on the offensive side as well. He scored 15 points in the game. But for Northrop, they've got a lot of guys who can get involved. Dallas Lawrence, even though he did not score in double figures, had some big rebounds, created a lot of turnovers in the game. So he's one guy to watch out for, and that could be something to watch out for throughout the course of this game, is if Northrop is able to force turnovers, they could get things going in transition and really slow down Northside. Now, Northside's shown plenty of ability to go in transition, though, too, especially when Tate Johnson gets the basketball. But if Northrop can slow them down, they'll be able to stay with them tonight. We'll be back here in just a moment. You're watching IHSAA sectional basketball on SummitCitySports.com and IHSAATV.org.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back to Carroll High School in this edition of the Class 4A Sectional 5 Championship game, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com and IHSAATV.org. Well, a little bit of history to talk about. The last time that Northside won a sectional championship was in 2018, so it wasn't all that long ago. They'd actually won back-to-back sectional championships. Won one in 2017 and then made it all the way to the state championship, but the Legends were defeated by Ben Davis. Those teams were both coached by Shabazz Khalik. He has since gone over to Monroeville to be the head coach over there. Gary Andrews has kind of been building Northside up since he got here. A couple losing seasons when Andrews first came here, but then in the 2019-20 season, 2020-21 season, the Legends took a big step forward, and that, by the way, was the first season that Briante Johnson got to play for Northside. He was a freshman back then. The Legends went 13-10 that year, and that was after starting the season at 2-5, actually 3-5. They had lost 5 of their first 8, went on to finish the season at 13-10. A great finish for the Legends, but they ran into Carroll in the first round of sectionals that year. Now Northrop has been to a sectional championship in recent years. That was in 2019. Rod Chamble was still the head coach. He still remains the head coach now, and that was the Northrop team that had Sidney Curry and Quaylen Pettis as a junior, and Isaac Anderson as well. Those guys were all 3 double-digit scorers, and Curry, I believe, went on to Louisville, if I'm not mistaken. Pettis went to college down in the great state of Arizona. Was a great basketball player and great football player, and he decided to go on and pursue basketball at the college level over football. Now, Northrop has not won sectionals since then, although last year they did have a good finish to the season, went 14-11 overall. 2020 they went 13-13. That was the team that had Quaylen Pettis and Kamani Smith, a couple of 6-foot-plus guards, guys who could rise up and shoot it over just about anybody and score in high totals. Actually gave Blackhawk Christian a run for their money early on in a home game against the Braves, although Blackhawk Christian was able to close out a win in that game. However, Northrop did go on the road in 2020 and beat Homestead. That, of course, was before the COVID-19 pandemic shut down the entire season. It would be a huge accomplishment for either team if they were to win sectionals today. But for Northrop, they're coming in at 5-18. Got a bye in the first round, and they were able to knock off East Noble last night in semifinals, but Northrop has not had a winning streak at any point this season. They can not only change all that if they win tonight, but move on to regionals. Regionals, by the way, will take place in Logansport. Now, Northrop also has a lot of seniors set to graduate this year. Think about guys like Jaden Schmank and Dalman Alexander. But the young guys do show quite a bit of promise. Don LeRae Reese shows a lot of promise. Ahmad Salam shows a lot of promise. Those guys are quick. They can shoot. They can defend well. That's just a few guys who show a lot of promise for this Northrop basketball team in the years to come. Dallas Lawrence is a junior. He'll likely be back next year. He's a guard who can score, can drive, can defend well. Who knows, in the next year or two, we could see this Northrop team take some big strides. And Northside, they're very junior-led. You think of guys like Briante Johnson, Jackson Fugate, Eugene Young Jr., those guys are all juniors. They're all averaging double figures. If those guys are back on the basketball court again next year, this Northside team could be one to look out for. But the Summit Athletic Conference, which both of these teams are a part of, has become quite dangerous. You look at the big step that Concordia has taken this year to finish the regular season at 16-6. They're 17-6 now with the win over Leo in the first round of sectionals. And also the big step that Wayne has taken. They took a giant leap forward from just 3 wins a year ago to winning the conference this year and knocking off the likes of Homestead and Concordia. What a great job Byron Pickett's squad has done, and that's a team that is going to have a lot of guys back next year. The SAC could look very interesting come next year, and we've got a lot of time to figure that out, but these two teams could be a part of that. But tonight, they're focused on winning a sectional championship here at Carroll High School and trying to get on to Logansport and compete for regionals. While we've got a moment, we'll go ahead and get a word in from some of our sponsors. Big Eyed Fish has been around the Northeast Indiana area for generations. Like their Facebook pages for updated promotions and enjoy the best fish in Fort Wayne in a family-friendly environment at Big Eyed Fish. Kelly Automotive Group celebrates their 70th year in business. Shop all 14 of their locations and contact them at brands@drivekelly.com. At Ottenweller Contracting, we invest in our customers by providing peace of mind throughout the entire process from bid to build. Visit OttenwellerContracting.com to learn more. Summit Volleyball trains and builds the highest quality volleyball players in the area. From ages 5 to 18, our players are equipped with elite-level skills and a foundation of life skills. Jump on board. Together, we can reach the summit. Tom Steele Tire has been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years. They'll help you find the perfect tire for your vehicle and other auto repair services like brakes, wheel alignments, engine diagnostics, and more. Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning is dedicated to providing the best possible solution for your home or business, a system and solution that fits your unique needs. Visit AndersonCoolHeat.com to learn more. Are you ready to do what it takes to put your past behind you, whether it's expunging your criminal record or helping to get your driver's license reinstated? If so, Jolly Law Firm and Chief Counsel David Jolly is your answer. Sioka Cleaning and Restoration, providing top-notch commercial cleaning services throughout Northeast Indiana, including water damage, janitorial, and state-of-the-art disinfecting services. Online degree programs at the University of St. Francis are built for convenience and flexibility. For more information, visit online.sf.edu. There we go. At Parkview Sports Medicine, it's game on. We serve every level of athlete with our integrated sports medicine team, including the region's only specialized athletic rehab facility. Learn more about our services by logging on to parkviewsportsmedicine.com. And it looks like we're about to have the national anthem, so we will take a pause and turn it over to our PA announcer, which I believe is Dave Ginder, the head baseball coach here at Carroll.
With the starters from Northrop High School, a 6'1" senior, number 1, Keon Banks. A 5'10" senior, number 3, Jaden Schmidt. A 6'1" junior, number 4, Dallas Lawrence. A 6'4" sophomore, number 21, Hayden Buckley. A 6'6" senior, number 25, Colin Alexander. Coach of the Bruins is Mr. Ron Chamble. And now your starters for the home team on the scoreboard, the Northside Legends. A 6'3" junior, number 1, Bronte Johnson. A 6'5" senior, number 3, Bodie Dickerson. A 6'2" senior, number 4, Grant Bassett. A 6'4" junior, number 12, Jackson Bugay. And a 6'5" junior, number 15, Eugene Young. Coach of the Legends is Gary Andrews. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand? Face towards our flag on the side.
I'll have to correct myself on that. Dave Ginder's not the PA announcer. He's actually standing down court level to the left of where we're set up, so to speak. But we are ready to start this game between the Northrop Bruins and the Northside Legends. Northrop coming up with a win over East Noble, and Northside is 15-9 overall, but Northrop played them close in the regular season. 74-73 was the final score in that game, so Northside certainly knows that Northrop is not going to go down without a fight. Snyder didn't go down against Northside without a fight last night. Legends won the game by 7, and the Panthers were actually down by 13, came all the way back to take the lead, but it was not a long-lasting lead for Snyder. It's going to be Bodie Dickerson to tip it off against Dalman Alexander. Alexander at 6'6", Dickerson at 6'5". Northside's got plenty of size. Northrop, most of their size comes in the likes of Dalman Alexander and Hayden Lepley. He's 6'4". And Dallas Lawrence, though he's just 6'1", he can do a lot of good things with the basketball, but he's blocked on the inside. That was Jackson Fugate who blocked the shot. And here goes Johnson. The dish to the corner. 3-ball won't fall for Eugene Young. Schmenk with the lob down the floor. It's taken away by Young. Good job getting back on D by Eugene. Rayshawn Bassett did not have a made three last night. However, he had 5 makes from 3 in the first game. And there is Eugene Young Jr. on the inside getting the game's first bucket. A good possession there put together by the Legends. And here's Keon Bates getting around the screen from Alexander. Alexander with Young on him. Turnaround jumper. It won't fall. Lawrence went for the rebound. It's out of bounds to Northside. Johnson across the timeline. He is met by Dallas Lawrence. Bassett trying to get control, and he does. Keon Bates will come out to guard him. Fugate has Young out there. Young looked like he was about to set a screen with Lepley. Defender falls down. That was Lawrence. Johnson was wide open after that, and he hits the jumper. Tay Johnson on the board early in this one. He was held to just 6 against Carroll in the first round, but scored 23 points in last night's win against Snyder, and that's a jump ball. The arrow does favor the Legends. Johnson, he's got to be careful. He had a technical foul last night. Ended up committing 4 fouls in the game. He was arguing about something with the official, but again, the Legends did win the jump ball there. Pull-up jumper, Fugate, no good. Battle for the board. Young almost created an extra possession for the Legends, but it's Alexander who wins the battle in the end. Schmenk through traffic. Looks like Northside's going to set up in a matchup zone. We'll go back outside to Alexander. Alexander on the drive, leaning in. He's right there for the board, and he gets the putback. Dalman Alexander keeping the possession alive. Had good position there after that initial miss. Right now they got Lawrence guarding Johnson. Johnson uses the screen from Dickerson. Step back jumper, no good. And Hayden Lepley comes down with the board. Alexander looking to attack against Fugate. Young brings the double team. Alexander right next to the baseline. And I think they got the timeout. They did indeed. Well, it didn't take long to get our first timeout. That was Fugate and Young there guarding Dalman Alexander, the leading scorer for this Northside basketball team. Now, you saw what Dalman Alexander can do on the boards on the last possession. We'll show you that replay right here. At that time, I think he had Tay Johnson on him, but was able to get the rebound after the miss. Check that, it was Eugene Young Jr. who was guarding him there. .5:05 to go here in this first quarter. Keon Bates will look to inbound it. You remember Keon Bates from the high school football season. He was a starting quarterback at Northrop this past year. Split some time as a starter with Roosevelt Norfleet III. Oh, there was some contact. They don't call a foul on Bassett, and Northside forces the turnover. Winner of this game goes on to Logansport for regionals. The winner of the Columbia City sectional will also go to Logansport. I believe that game's starting here in the next half hour. Pull up three, Fugate off the mark. Battle for the ball, and we're going to get a foul. Looks like it's on Northside. Initially, I thought they were going to call it on Lepley. Instead, it's on Tay Johnson. He committed 4 fouls in last night's game, and his 4th foul came in the third quarter. That was the technical foul. They'll look to keep him out of foul trouble tonight. 1-2-2 zone here by Northside. Bates able to find Schmenk. Schmenk racing through traffic to the basket, puts it home. Jaden Schmenk, stop him if you can. Johnson through traffic, had it knocked away. Northside keeps possession. Rod Shamble pleading his case. He thought that went off of Johnson. Well, Jaden Schmenk had all kinds of trouble with that zone press that Northside was putting on, but was able to work through that trouble and get to the bucket. Here's Bassett. He wanted the three. Oh, Schmenk with some real good defense. Right after that great dribble penetration, plays well on the defensive end. We got a foul on the floor here. Looks like it's on Hayden Lepley. And indeed it is. Lepley commits his first. Each team now has 1 foul in the game so far. They get it into Young, and Young is contacted and fouled. That's going to be on Keon Bates. Bassett will look to put it in play for Northside. He's got Dickerson open. Dickerson's not one of the top scorers for Northside. However, if he gets open down on the block, if you can lob it to him, he can jam it home. Eugene Young Jr. collects his own miss. Dallas Lawrence scooped up the loose change, and they're going to call him for traveling. Picked up the ball and fell to the deck. Northrop used a lot of man-to-man defense in the first half against East Noble. A lot of zone in the second half. They went zone there as Bassett was long on the 3-ball. It's Keon Bates running the point here for the Bruins. Alexander, pull-up jumper from the free throw line. Nothing but net. Alexander fresh off of his 15-point performance last night against East Noble. 4 early points tonight. Alexander had 9 points in the third quarter against East Noble. Fugate is fouled on his way to the bucket. The putback won't count. Jackson Fugate played the role of closer in last night's win against Snyder. Had 13 points in the second half. 22 points total. Fugate, even as the cheerleaders continue to chant, he knocks down that first free throw. Fugate goes 2 for 2. Northside will set up in a 1-3-1 zone here on this possession as Bates brings it across the timeline. Schmenk, little double screen there. Bates to the basket, comes up short, battle on the boards, and it's picked up by Don Lorray Reese. Alexander wanted the step back. Reese from the corner. His three is long. It was knocked away from Dickerson, and that's a foul. He climbed over the back of Bates. And Bates, a little shaken up as he rises to his feet, it looks like. He's able to walk it off, but he might have got smacked in the face as Dickerson went up to try and block that shot. But Bates is going to go to the line. The second team foul against Northrop. Northside, excuse me. And Bates gives the lead right back to the Bruins. Two for two goes Bates. Looks like Northrop's going to set up in a 2-3 zone here. That's Jordan King setting the screen for Fugate. King did not get in the game last night against Snyder. Bassett looking for some room. He's got Schmenk on him. Spinning inside is Bassett, and that's traveling. He was trying to pass the ball midair. I think he was trying to get the ball to Johnson, but he didn't get the pass off. Bates met by Fugate as he crosses the timeline. Northside still using that 1-3-1 zone. They used this a lot against Snyder last night. And that's going to be a foul on Fugate. Again, one of these teams is going to Logansport for regionals. We'll also have either Wayne or Homestead going to Logansport. They'll take the court in the Columbia City Sectional Championship tonight. That's traveling on Keon Bates. The teams have basically traded turnovers in the last couple possessions. Fugate almost missed that inbound. He had his eyes turned toward Gary Andrews. Turned his eyes just as the ball was coming to him. Lawrence guarding Johnson. Johnson finds Young on the wing. Young's three is good. Contested three it was, and Young knocks it down. First three of the game for either team. Schmenk driving inside. Throws it away, and Johnson gets to it. Look out. Johnson can fly, and he gets to the cup. Well, if Johnson gets his eyes on a loose ball, look out. Now, Northrop was able to get back on defense that time, but Johnson worked his way right through that traffic, and there's another turnover. Is he going to do it again? You bet. And that's going to prompt a timeout from Rod Chamble. Well, back-to-back transition buckets by Tay Johnson. You know, on the gridiron, they talk about guys who have an eye for the football. Well, Tay-Tay's got an eye for the basketball, and we show you a couple examples of that here. Jaden Schmenk had a tough deal with that double team as Johnson's able to get to the loose ball and take it all the way to the cup. And then moments later, Johnson has got another transition bucket. We'll show that to you here on our Traction AP replay. That time Johnson with a little pickpocket. Actually got bumped on the way by Schmenk and still managed to keep his composure and take that ball to the cup. But as we saw last night, momentum can be a fleeting thing. Right now, momentum is on the side of the Legends. But in just a matter of moments, Northrop could take momentum back. We saw Snyder take momentum back a couple of times in last night's game against Northside. And we will remind you, Northrop took Northside to the brink in the regular season. Northside won the game, but it was by a score of 74-73. Get the ball into Bates. Now Northrop could hold for the final shot of the quarter. They're only down 5. And you don't have a shot clock to worry about, at least not these days. Not in the state of Indiana. There are other states that have it. They've worked the clock down to 26 seconds. Schmenk can shoot from the outside. He can also score on dribble penetration. And a foul is called before the shot on the floor, and it looks like it's on Fugate. Check that, it's on Young. Eugene Young Jr. called for the foul. 4th team foul on Northside. Ahmad Salam's going to check into the bench and off the scorer's table. He's a sophomore, guy who's gotten a lot of minutes off the bench for these Bruins. You wonder, with the young guys contributing as they have been this season, what does the future look like for these Bruins? Alexander with 2 men on him, and he's fouled on the way up, and Young looked like he got popped in the face. But I think they're going to call Young for the foul here. Indeed they do. 2 fouls in a row for Young. And this was on the shot, so Dalman Alexander goes to the line. Tate got a little breather. Looks like he's going to check back in here shortly. He and Dickerson will both re-enter. Record-wise, the top 2 teams in this sectional coming into play were Northside and Carroll. They ended up playing each other in the first round, and Northside, of course, won the game, 79-48. Brayshawn Bassett was the star of that game. He hit 5 threes, or one of the stars of that game. And there's Bassett catching the inbound, but some tough defense there from Salam. Throws a long pass to Johnson, and Johnson's able to snag it. You know, he's 6'3", but when you watch him out there on the court, he looks like he's taller than that. Clock down to 4. Johnson rises up and hits. A late 3 for Tate to close out the quarter. Tate finishes off the first quarter with 7 straight points, and the Legends lead by 6 as we go to the second quarter here on SummitCitySports.com and IHSAATV.org.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Area sports looked a lot different back in 1952 when Jim Kelly opened his first dealership in Fort Wayne. 70 years later, that original dealership has grown into the Kelly Automotive Group with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall and Kelly Chevrolet on Lima Road. Fort Wayne continues to support our local teams and businesses. Thank you for 70 years. We could have never done it without you. Visit us today at drivekelly.com.
A 16-10 lead for Northside. They close out the first quarter on a 7-2 run, and those 7 Northside points were all scored by Brayante Johnson. 2 of them off of turnovers. 1 of them was off of one of his own steals, which he took to the basket. Just a little pickpocket. And then he closed out the quarter with a long 3. In fact, I think he shot that 3 from NBA range. Alexander, through heavy traffic, dishes outside to Schmenk. And Schmenk knocks down the triple. Good ball movement by Alexander as Schmenk makes it a successful possession. Ivan Hood in the game now for Northside. Here's Fugate from the free throw line. He's fouled on the shot. Rod Chamble trying to plead his case, but instead the call goes Fugate's way, and they call it on Jaden Schmenk. Only his first so far. Fugate had the big game last night, 22 points, 13 in the second half to help close out a win for Northside. So far this game, his only points have come from the free throw line. Gets a little shooter's roll there, goes 2 for 2. These two schools are not only part of the same school district, as Alexander drives in, missed the shot, but he's fouled. They call that one on number 33, Jordan King. By the way, Northside has 5 guys who are unavailable tonight. They were unavailable last night as well. One of them is Jordan Green. Now he's out for the season with a torn ACL. But the others are Bravon Bassett, Jamari Pearson, Javius Davenport, Devon Haney, and James Early. So I beg your pardon, it's actually 6 guys who are unavailable for both last night and tonight as Alexander makes the first one count. These teams are both part of the FWCS school district, and Northside's former head baseball coach, Austin Mannon, was announced as the new head baseball coach at Northrop. I believe that was back in May when the press conference took place. Mannon taking over for former head coach Matt Brumbaugh, who had a very successful run as the Bruins head baseball coach. Javion Davenport gives that one off to Hood. Well, Javion's capable of having a big scoring night anytime this year. Another long three by Johnson. He's thriving from deep downtown. And he shot that thing from NBA range. He had another one of those threes at the end of the first quarter. Give him 12 points for the game. Alexander's fouled, and that's Fugate. Fugate with his second foul of the game. 7th team foul on the Legends. There were a bunch of guys who fouled out in last night's game between Northside and Snyder. Excuse me, a lot of guys who got into foul trouble. Only one fouled out. That was Kieron Billingsley. That's the front end of a 1-and-1 for Alexander. Alexander had a great defensive game against Hunter Klein last night, who was East Noble's top scorer going into play. Alexander held him to just 7 points total and only 1 make from the field. Alexander's going to finish this game in double digits. He's up to 10 points. His last 6 points have all come from the free throw line. Hood sets the screen for Johnson. Johnson through traffic. Step back, Jay, off the mark. Down the court they go to Reese. A long lob over to Keon Bates. Alexander sets the screen for Bates. Bates through traffic, contested shot, and he puts it in. Keon Bates driving through heavy traffic. And we've got a timeout called by Northside. They'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll take a timeout right along with them here on SummitCitySports.com.
This has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really
21-19 in favor of Northside. Northrop on a bit of a comeback trail, though. They have scored the last 5 points in the game, or last 4 points in the game, including Keon Bates scoring on dribble penetration just moments ago and getting through all kinds of traffic to get to the bucket. He's done that. Jaden Schmenk's done that once tonight. Now, Tate Johnson has hit some long threes. He was just inside the volleyball line on his last one. Bassett coming up short on that one. I don't think Bassett's hit a three since his 5 3-pointer performance against Carroll on Tuesday. We're going to get a foul here, a loose ball foul against the Legends. And Northrop is already in the bonus. It's the 8th team foul against Northside, and it's Jaden Schmenk going to the line. Ivan Hood called for that last foul. That's his first. If you're a Northrop fan, you're probably catching your breath that the guy who committed the foul has only committed his first of the game. That one rolls off the rim, battle for the board, and it's picked up by the Legends. That was Young who got the board. Tate through traffic, count the basket. Tate through heavy traffic there. He's hit some long threes. He's forced some turnovers, scored off a couple turnovers, and that time he wasn't the only guy to touch the ball, but once they got it to him, he took it all the way to the cup. And he dribbled the ball about 3/4 of the court before he took the shot, but he can't complete the three-point play. However, Johnson is up to 14 points, and to think he only had 6 in the game against Carroll. He's come up big in the first half last night, and so far in the first half tonight again, too. Alexander sets the screen. Here's Reese. Flips it up over Dickerson. He missed the shot, but it's picked up by Salam. Salam comes up short, and the rebound comes down to Rodney Jones. Johnson drives to his right. The dish to Dickerson, left it short. Salam, the floater in transition, off the mark. Lawrence climbs over for the board, but has it ripped away. It's Davenport who takes it away. Johnson down the floor, contact made. Blocking foul. And the Northrop bench is frustrated with that one. It was close. I thought at first they were going to call it a charge. Alexander's called for the foul. Only the 5th team foul so far against the Bruins. They've got one to give, but Chamble is heated over there on the sideline. Johnson gets his first. We'll show you that replay here while we've got a chance. I don't know. I think Alexander was set there. Well, you got to call it in real time. It's a challenging job, no doubt. But Tate, little challenge knocking down those free throws. An offensive foul away from the ball, I believe, called on Northrop, and it looks like they got Alexander. Let's get a look at this and see what might have happened here. They do call it on Alexander. I didn't see anything. They're not calling this a technical. Everybody's at the paint. I didn't see Alexander do anything. As it stands, 7 team fouls against Northrop, but I am not sure what that was for. It would have had to have been before the ball crossed the timeline, and now Northrop forces a turnover right back. Here's Bates coming the other way. Lawrence off the bottom of the backboard. Johnson coming down the floor. The lob to Dickerson, and this time Dickerson finishes. Schmake. As Lawrence cutting down the baseline. Now he's going to drive, flips it in. Jaden Schmake had just enough space to put that thing in, and we've got 4 minutes to go in the first half. Johnson directs traffic. He lobs it to Dickerson, too high for him, but Fugate is there for the recovery. Can he hold on to the ball? He's double teamed. Jones hit a couple of threes last night. He's got an early one here. A 9-point lead for Northside. That's their largest of the game. Bates working against what initially looked like a 2-3 zone. Now Bates backs down on Fugate. Fugate staying with him. Bates throws up a prayer, not answered. It actually was answered, but Tay-Tay's answer was, I don't think so. Foul called on the inside. They're going to call it an offensive foul. Don LeRae Reese sets the charge, and I think that was Fugate. It was. And that's his third.
Northside foul. 12, Jackson Fugate.
3 minutes to go. A lot of fouls in this game. 9 on Northside, 7 on Northrop. Bates trying to cross up Davenport, flips it up over Bodie Dickerson, and that's off of Northside. Bates trying to get it in. He finds Lawrence. Lawrence double team. Bates is there. He missed the shot, but he's going to the line. And that will put the Bruins into the double bonus. Rodney Jones called for that one. That's his first, but the foul's piling up for the Legends. They've already committed 10 in the game, and Jackson Fugate has already committed 3. But Bates could not connect on the free throw. Fugate is on the bench right now with 2:55 to go in the second quarter. Brayshawn Bassett will check back into the game for Northside. And their last sectional championship was back in 2018 when Shabazz Khalik was the head coach. They'd gone to state the year before, but lost to Ben Davis. And the second one crawls home for Bates. Davenport is met by Reese. Now Tay-Tay's hit some long threes, but right now he's halfway between the volleyball line and half court. He didn't think he was going to shoot from where he was standing there. Dickerson, cross court, extra pass. Johnson finds Bassett. A lot of ball movement. Dickerson threw it off the bottom of the backboard, trying to save the turnover. Instead, gives it right back to the Bruins. Here's Bates across the timeline. Bassett will pick him up. Bates drives. Floater. No good. Johnson's all alone for the board. Johnson slows down. A little help side defense there by Reese. Johnson has Salam guarding him. Well, Salam gives Tay-Tay about 4 inches. Bassett, a little no-look out there to Davenport. Bassett almost had it stolen. Jones saves the possession. Dickerson throws it off the legs of Bassett, and he chucks it off a defender. Northrop takes over, but the pass is long for Schmake and out of bounds. Well, Schmake was running like a wide receiver. He does play that position in football. Jordan King re-enters the game for Northside. Minute 36 to go in the first half as Davenport's there to set the screen for Johnson. Johnson has hit some long threes. His last one was just inside the volleyball line. That's about where he is right now, but it's Davenport to take it here, and why not? Javion Davenport from downtown. Now, Northside had a 13-point lead last night against Snyder. They couldn't hold that for the entire game. They did win the game, of course. But Snyder came all the way back. Jones going for the turnover. It's still loose. Davenport's got it. Against two defenders, count the basket. Javion Davenport making it happen. He hit a three on the last possession. Rodney Jones created the turnover there, and Davenport hustled after the loose ball to preserve a Northside possession. 59.3 left to go in this first half. Eugene Young Jr. will get a break as Michael Dye comes into the ball game. 5'10 senior, plays the guard position, plays defensive back on Northside's football team. In fact, Northside's football coach Ben Johnson Jr. is in the house tonight. But Dye misses the free throw, and Schmenk gets the rebound. King went up for it. And Schmenk, who's about 6 inches shorter, was able to come down with the ball. Kobe Hudson slowing things down. That's nearly taken away. Jones going for another steal, and now it is a steal by Davenport, and he was fouled in transition. Looks like they got Ahmad Salah. No, check that. They got Keon Bates for the foul. Brayshawn Bassett will give Tate Johnson a breather. That's Bates' third foul of the game, by the way. Oh, Davenport missed it. He had scored 5 straight points and a missed free throw. Will slow down his run. Schmenk dribbled that one out of bounds, and that was Davenport who was defending him. Boy, Davenport doing a lot of good things since coming into the ballgame. 31.6 seconds left, and I'd have every reason to believe that Northside is going to play out this possession and hold for the final shot. With a 13-point lead, they probably don't want to give Northrop a chance to touch the ball as Jordan King had a shoe come loose there. That's the reason for the whistle, but looks like he's got it back on. Down to 22 seconds. It's Johnson with the ball. Johnson working the clock down. Looks like Northside is going to try to hold for the final shot here. That's Hudson guarding Johnson. Now Johnson rises up. Missed the three ball. It comes out to Schmenk. Schmenk down the floor. He's got a look. Blocked by Johnson. And the Legends will not get a shot off in time, but they do take a 13-point lead into the halftime locker room. A quick first half as Northside goes up 35 to 22 at halftime. And while we've got a chance, we will get a word in from our sponsors, the good folks at Parkview Sports Medicine. At Parkview Sports Medicine, it is game on. We are the region's largest integrated sports medicine team, providing athletes specialized services from improving their performance to recovering from injuries. To learn more, go to parkviewsportsmedicine.com. Today's broadcast is brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. Follow us on Twitter at 260sports, like our Facebook page, Summit City Sports, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Northrop was giving Northside a good battle in the first quarter. Northside has gotten the lead out to 13 points, but remember, they got the lead out to 13 points in last night's game against Snyder. The Panthers came all the way back to take the lead. Legends won the game, but not without a battle from the Panthers. We'll see what happens in this game, and we will also remind you that Northrop was defeated by Northside in the regular season, but only by 1 point. they could give us just as good a battle in the second half tonight as they did in the regular season game earlier this season. We will be back in just a moment. You are watching the IHSAA sectional tournament on SummitCitySports.com and IHSAATV.org.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I just want to be the best in basketball. So I want to be the greatest of all time to play women's basketball. So I just know there's people out there working just as much as me. So I just want to keep working hard and keep that intensity going. And so one day I can pursue my dreams of being in the WNBA and playing overseas. So I just want bigger things to come in my life.
I remember when I started in March, she could do 0 pull-ups. She did have a great 25-inch vertical when she first started. She only weighed 150 pounds. One of our main mottos is do the simple things exceedingly well, and that's where we started. So we started the foundation, building her base, and now we've got to basically the peak of our pyramid of things that we can do with her. So we didn't skip any levels. We did all the basics, and she got really, really good at them, and that's what's led her to become as great as she is at basketball and performance.
I've watched her grow, the confidence-wise, the strength-wise, the jumping ability, her footwork. It's really amazing to kind of watch for a girl her size, being 6'3", 6'4", to move like she can move and do the thing and be as agile as she is, along with the strength.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcasts. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts, all with a 99% career success rate.
You belong here. Here.
Here.
I belong here.
Has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
I like to stay active. I try to come in here at least 3 times a week and just get my 1-hour workout in. Since September, I think I've put on 22 pounds of muscle. I think my vertical has gone up plus 5 inches. I've gotten a lot faster since then too. I can hit the ball further, In football, I can push people around more. It's basketball easier too. Just being stronger just makes everything easier.
Brandon started with Jim Rath's basketball training. After one of the sessions, he came up to me and he wanted to know if he could do more. So Brandon started the EDGE program in November, in addition to the club training he was doing, because it offers personalized programming for his athletic goals. PSN Performance uses a long-term athletic development pyramid. At such a young age, it's really good for Brandon to set the foundation of athletic development. Since he is in season all year round, he has to be ready for all the physical demands. So he does a lot more strength training, just because in basketball he sprints and cuts a lot. In baseball he's doing a lot of sprinting. In football he does a lot of sprinting and jumping. So preparing him to withstand the physical demands of those games, he does a lot more strength training.
I like all the lower body stuff the best. I do goblet squats, split squats, back squat, front squat, a lot of those. Tyler knows what's best for me. He always points me in the right direction. He just pushes me to go harder every day.
In 4 years, this could be you!
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts.
You belong here!
Area sports looked a lot different back in 1952 when Jim Kelly opened his first dealership in Fort Wayne. 70 years later, that original dealership has grown into the Kelly Automotive Group with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall and Kelly Chevrolet on Lima Road. Fort Wayne continues to support our local teams and businesses. Thank you for 70 years. We could have never done it without you. Visit us today at drivekelly.com.
Yo, what's going on? It's Antoine Taylor with Matrix QB. I'm so excited to announce our new book, The Quarterback Tool Shed, strictly designed to help you slow the game down so that you can speed up. Whether you're a parent, a coach, or a player, it's jam-packed with information. We're going to help you slow the game down by giving you a mental processor so that you can speed up. This resource has all the things you need, from reading the defense, passing mechanics, pre-snap filters, coverage ID, and much, much more. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to see you on the inside.
How can we help you see today? At A&J Optical, we offer frames for the entire family: Nike, MCM, Timberland, Victoria's Secret, Tom Ford, Clear Eye View, Ray-Ban, Guess, and our own A&J Optical line. We accept most insurance: Davis Vision, iMed, Anthem, United Health, Medicare, and Medicaid. We are located at 3629 North Clinton Street, right next door to Wood and Nickel.
A&J Optical.
Well, Northside is up 13 points over Northrop. It was a close game for most of the first quarter and a good portion of the second quarter, but Northside was able to force a number of turnovers and stretch out the lead because of that in large part. Well, we got a chance. We'll show you one of those turnovers right now. This was Tay Johnson earlier in the game, just coming from behind, and you will see him pick the pocket of Dalman Alexander, who had his eyes turned away from Johnson, and Johnson takes it in to score in the first quarter there. Tay Johnson, by the way, is the leading scorer for Northside. He's got 16 points for this game. Eugene Young Jr. and Javian Davenport each have 5. Leading scorer for Northrop is Dalman Alexander with 10. Jaden Schmenk has 7. Keon Bates have 3. Those are actually the only guys who have scored so far in this game for the Bruins. As we start the third quarter, Northside has the basketball. Start the fouls over as well. Long 3, Jackson Fugate, no good. Tapped around by Alexander into the hands of Bates. By the way, we got an update for you. Wayne is leading Homestead 24-17. That game's in the second quarter. Do have a final from one of our games also. Bishop Dwenger has defeated Heritage. So they'll be going on to regionals, or to the sectional championship. Alexander knocks down the jumper. Dwenger will be going to the sectional championship to face either Concordia or Woodland. get an update on that one when we get a chance. But right now, here's Johnson with the basketball as Northrop scores on their first possession of the second half. Snyder put together a good battle against Northside yesterday. They were down by 13 points, which Northrop was just a moment ago. Johnson's fouled before any kind of shot was taken. What sparked the run for Snyder yesterday was a couple of good looks from three, and Quaylen Clopton was able to sink both of those. Now, Clopton's a sophomore, stands to be back on next year's team. Who knows? Jeremy Roush's squad could be dangerous or at the least very improved, but Tay Johnson with the early bucket. Took a while for Northside to score in the second half yesterday. They score on their second possession of the half here. Here's Bates looking to go against Fugate. Fugate's got 3 fouls. He gets the block here, though. That was risky, but Fugate gets the block. The lob to Dickerson, and he's fouled midair. Oh, wait a second. An offensive foul, and I think it's on Johnson. Indeed it is. Well, both teams have had moments where they've been upset with the officials. And in taking a brief glance at the replay, yes, that was the right call. Alexander was set just in time before Johnson ran into him. Here's Schmenk picked up by Bassett. Schmenk on the drive. Fugate contested again, but it's out of bounds off of Northside. Fugate playing with those 3 fouls, but he was straight up there, and the officials recognized it. Rod Chamble not happy with the no call perhaps, but no call was made in the end. Turnaround by Alexander, got it. 2 early buckets for Alexander. We've got a foul on the other end of the floor, and this time it's on Northrop. They call that one on Alexander. That'll send Jackson Fugate to the free throw line. Our most recent update was Adams Central had a 13-10 lead on Blackhawk Christian at the end of the first quarter. Got a close game over at Garrett. Concordia leading 14-13 over Woodland. Aiden North just gave us that one. Fugate goes 2 for 2 on that trip to the line. Fugate's up to 6 points for this game. He had 22 points last night, and it was in the second half when he really started to turn it on. Lawrence able to keep control, lobs it up, no good. Who was that off of? They're going to say off of Dallas Lawrence. That Concordia Woodland game, those are the 2 best teams record-wise in the Garrett sectional. Winner of that game moves on to the championship game on Monday to play Dwenger. Bassett slips it to Fugate. Fugate with the left hand. Bates on the attack through traffic. Johnson poked it away, but Bates recovers. Throws a wild one. It's off of Fugate. Fugate and Hughes were both battling for the ball. They say Fugate touched it last. Northside had 2 chances to force a turnover there, but Northrop survives the possession for the time being. This 15-point lead is the largest lead Northside has had tonight. Over to Don Lorray-Reese. Finds Bates. It's a man-to-man defense here by Northside. Schmenk will fire. Couldn't knock it down. Eugene Young Jr. closed out defensively. Fugate in transition. His 3 comes up short. Fugate hasn't made a 3 yet today. Bates gets by a defender. 1-on-1. Got it. Right over Johnson. Keon Bates. That's Bates' first field goal of the game. Knocked away. Dickerson had the recovery, and he got fouled. There were a few Bruins in the area, including Don LeRae Reese, and they will call it on Don LeRae. Foul was not on the shot. It was, however, the third team foul against the Bruins. Northside committed 10 fouls in the first half. Northrop, I believe, committed 9. Didn't quite get to the double bonus. Davenport able to prevent the over and back. That was Keon Bates who was there defending him. Young sets the screen for Johnson. Johnson flips it in. Tete's up to 20 points for tonight. I believe he only had one field goal in the second half last night. He's got 2 made field goals in the second half tonight. We've got 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Here's Bates. Bates zips it inside to Lawrence, and he's fouled. Eugene Young and Bodie Dickerson were both in the area. We'll see who they call it on. They're going to call it on Young. And Eugene Young commits his third foul. He and Jackson Fugate both in some foul trouble. Fugate committed his third in the second quarter. He has yet to commit one here in the third quarter. Tete Johnson, so far just 2 fouls in the game. Lawrence is long in his first free throw. Bassett and Jones will check back in. They'll give Fugate and Dickerson a breather. Excuse me, that's Young. Eugene Young. Young's number 15, Fugate's number 12. Fugate remains in the game. A little discussion going on between Rod Chamble and the official, and now he'll go over to Gary Andrews. And I think they're just going to play on here. Lawrence connects on the second one. Some full court pressure by the Bruins. Fugate's able to beat it. Davenport was open, but he'll find Johnson instead. More patient possession as opposed to a quick three. There's Fugate looking to attack. And a foul's going to be called on the Bruins, it looks like. Jackson Hughes is called for the foul. And Bodie Dickerson will quickly check back into the ball game. That last free throw for Dallas Lawrence, by the way, was his first of the game, his first point of the game, not just his first make from the free throw line. Bates knocks it away, but they're going to get Bates for the foul as Bassett goes down. Bates and Bassett were battling for the ball in midair, and they call Bates for the foul. Oh, no, they get Bassett for the foul. I thought they were going to get Bates for the foul. Instead, they get Bassett. It looked, if anything, like Bates ran into him. But it is the third team foul on the Legends. Driving through is Bates, too strong. Lob down the floor. Can Dickerson catch up to it? He can, but he missed the shot. He went up for the dunk and hit the front iron. They lob it to Lawrence. Lawrence puts it in. There's Lawrence's first field goal of the game. He finished last night's game against East Noble with 9. Davenport on the attack, puts it home. Javion Davenport with the finger roll. Made some big plays there in the first half. Don LeRae had to run all the way back to the bleachers to get the loose ball, and now the ball ricochets off his hands. I think Don LeRae might have taken his eyes off the ball for just a second there. Now, Don LeRae is a promising freshman. I imagine he'll see a lot more minutes in his high school basketball career at Northrop. That ball's poked away. Still in play. I think it hit the ref. Davenport stuck with it. Jones going for the Euro step. It's blocked by Hughes. Johnson recovers. Davenport the sidestep. Missed the 3-ball. Johnson going for the rebound. It's out of bounds off of Northrop, and Rod Shamble not happy about that call. He thought that one off of Johnson, and I'm not sure it didn't. But as it stands, it is Northside basketball. They lob it into Johnson. Johnson to the basket. Left hand, he scores. That'll give Johnson 22 points for the game. Having a much better second half tonight than he did last night. Don Reese from the corner. Book it. And Don Laray's on the board now, as he looks to help Northrop get back into this game. But we got 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Lawrence guarding Johnson. Tate trying to get by him. He was thinking about a step-back three. Rod Shamble, as he barks out to his guys, he was standing there like a guard in man-to-man defense for just a second. Ivan Hood sets the screen for Johnson. Lawrence stays on him. And that's going to be a foul. Little hand check there on Dallas Lawrence. Yeah, every now and then when you're coaching in the game of basketball, your emotions start to run high and your tie comes almost undone. Here's Davenport against two defenders. Offensive foul. Jaden Schmank draws the charge. That's Davenport's first foul. Bates across the timeline. He finds Reese wide open. Short this time. Johnson collects the board. He trips, and a foul is called. Johnson going to be helped to the floor by Davenport. Hayden Lepley was trying to help him out as well. Looks like Adams Central and Blackhawk Christian are now at halftime. Just got the update from Hunter Sosenheimer, who's calling the game. Adams Central's leading 18-16 over there. That's at Adams Central, by the way. It's been a great run for the Braves. Matt Roth, the new head coach, taking over for the late Mark Davidson. He's done a great job with that program. Roth is a former Davidson assistant. Davenport almost had trouble with that pass. Hood sets the screen for him. Michael Dye was not ready for that backdoor cut. He made the backdoor cut, but he wasn't ready for the pass. Final minute of the third quarter. We're down to 55 seconds, and we'll see how Northrop plays this out. Lawrence 1-on-2. Missed the shot, but Lawrence was fouled. Johnson and Dye were in the area, and they got Michael Dye for the foul. Only his first. Had it been on Johnson, it would have been his third. He's so far been able to avoid getting into foul trouble tonight. But Dallas Lawrence at the free throw line for Northrop. Puts in the first one. Lawrence was active on the defensive side last night, causing turnovers against East Noble. Ended up scoring 9 points in that game as well. He's only got 4 so far in this one. Rolls right off. It looked like Lawrence was going to get that friendly shooter's roll, but not so. Long pass down the floor. Fugate wide open, and he cashes in. Johnson had a man right underneath the basket, and he said, "Take it up there, Jackson." And Fugate did not disappoint. Fugate's up to 10 points for this game. Bates on the drive. Swings it outside to Reese. Northrop could hold for the final shot here. We're down to 15 seconds. Schmenk backs it out. He's got Bassett guarding him. Rod Shamble trying to direct traffic. Telling Schmenk to go. We're down to 3 seconds. Schmenk pokes it back out to Bates. Can he get it off? He does, but he missed it. We've played 3 quarters. We're 1 quarter away from crowning a sectional champion here at Carroll High School. We're back in a moment on SummitCitySports.com and IHSATV.org.
Area sports looked a lot different back in 1952 when Jim Kelly opened his first dealership in Fort Wayne. 70 years later, that original dealership has grown into the Kelly Automotive Group with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall and Kelly Chevrolet on Lima Road. Fort Wayne continues to support our local teams and businesses. Thank you for 70 years. We could have never done it without you. Visit us today at drivekelly.com.
We have reached the 4th quarter here at Carroll High School between Northside and Northrop. It is the Legends leading by 14, and after last night's game against Snyder, you wondered if we would see Northrop fight back here in the second half. Northrop's been able to match Northside's buckets, but have not been able to get it back to single digits. That last possession for Northside before the third quarter came to an end was a good one. Tate Johnson realized he had Jackson Fugate all alone underneath the bucket. Had to make a long pass, though, to get it to him, but Johnson put it to him on time. We do have an update from Garrett High School. Concordia leads Woodland 27-19. That's in the second quarter as Lawrence's shot, or rather Reese's shot, rolls right off the rim. Here goes Fugate down the floor. Missed it in transition. Alexander rips away the board. Schmenk from the corner. Sidestep to the paint. Double dribble is the call. Reese picked it up and then dribbled again. He was trying to get the ball to Lawrence. He waited a little long to get it to him in the end. Mentioned that Concordia Woodland game. Those are the 2 best teams record-wise at the Garrett Sectional. The winner will take on Bishop Dwenger in the sectional championship on Monday night. There's Fugate across the timeline, slips it to Bassett, and Bassett gets fouled. They call it on Don LeRae Reese. That'll go as the 7th team foul against Northrop. It was Northrop who was first to get into the bonus in the first half. The script has flipped here in the second, but the first free throw from Bassett won't go. Just a second, we'll get you an update on the Wayne Homestead game. It's become a little closer lately from the last update we got. Lawrence directing traffic. Spins inside, puts up the shot, and it goes. That's the first bucket of the 4th quarter. And an official's timeout. Looks like everything's okay. Looked for a moment like Dallas Lawrence might have been hurt, but he seems to be all right. Bassett, long pass to Young. Fugate slows it down. Here's Johnson through the paint, finds Jordan King, and Jordan King puts it home for the first Legends bucket of this 4th quarter. Pull-up jumper Lawrence on the other end, nothing but net. Young through traffic. Legends beat the press. Poked away, that's a live ball. Ahmad Salam nearly got the turnover. Salam gives Tate 4 inches. And he's trying to stay with him the whole way. Eventually Johnson gets by him. Might have gotten away with a foul, though. Rod Shamble certainly thinks so. In the end, Johnson's up to 24 points for the game. Schmenk feeds that one over to Alexander. Alexander had that 15-point performance last night and had to guard East Noble's best shooter, and Hunter Klein. That shot won't go for Lawrence. They go up the floor to Jackson Fugate. Bassett slows things down. Eventually he gets it to Fugate. Fugate looking to attack. Oh, Schmenk poked it away. King recovers, and he has it taken away. Alexander, past two defenders, missed the shot. Johnson blocked it. Fugate coming the other way. Dishes to the corner and was able to slide right past Dallas Lawrence, and Young scores. Well, Northside is using a lot of dribble penetration, but they're not necessarily going for the first shot they see. Bates gets fouled on the drive, and I think that's going to be Fugate. Indeed it is, and that's Jackson Fugate's fourth foul of the game. New update, Concordia now leads Woodland 29-19 at halftime. Bates could not connect on the free throw. Concordia knocked off Leo in the first round of sectionals. That was the team that beat Concordia in the sectional championship a year ago. Still a whole other half to play, and Woodland has shown the ability to battle back even when they fall behind by double digits. They did that in the regular season opener against New Haven. Won it on a buzzer beater with Trey Yoder. As Johnson gets the rebound, flips it up the court, Bassett's right there. But Bassett misses the shot. Johnson was down on the floor. They help him to his feet. And he'll go guard Schmenk. Bates trying to get by Davenport. Bassett with the help side. Salam missed the floater. They lob it up the floor looking for Johnson. And Young is fouled in midair. And Johnson made the adjustment down the floor just like a wide receiver in football, which is a position he plays on the gridiron. As I recall, he was the Legends' leading receiver this year. Of course, that Legends team had one of the top running backs in the SAC as well, Jonte Lambert, and then Lambert was the majority of Northside's offense. Got to do the football game between these two schools, and Lambert had a field day over there at Spooler Stadium. Certainly seems as though Ben Johnson Jr.'s Northside Legends are on the up and up. They won 7 games this past year. Schmenk on the drive through traffic, slips it off. Somehow he found Lawrence, and then Lawrence draws the foul. Well, in the end, Dallas Lawrence will finish this game in double figures. He's up to 10 for the game. That foul was called on Brayshawn Bassett. Both teams are currently in the bonus, by the way. And Lawrence completes the three-point play. Some full court pressure here by the Bruins. Legends get it to Johnson. And they'll slow things down, not necessarily looking to score right away, looking to take some time off the clock before they go for their next bucket. Here's Bassett, sizing it up. Lawrence on him. Bassett on the drive, puts it in. Had Lawrence bearing down, and Bassett puts it home. That's Bassett's first field goal of this game. Bates has it blocked by Bassett, but I think they're going to get him for the foul. He went right above and made contact with the arms, and Bassett not making much argument there. That's Bassett's third. It's the 8th team foul against the Legends. Each team now has one foul to give, so to speak, before double bonus. 3:33 on the clock here in this fourth quarter. Well, when we last heard, Homestead was making it close against Wayne. They're now in the third quarter, and Wayne is now leading 34-26. We're going to get a timeout here called by Gary Andrews. Trip to the sectional championship on the line. We're back in just a moment on SummitCitySports.com.
Has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really –
The 58-42 lead for Northside over Northrop. Northrop's last sectional championship was in 2019. Northside's last sectional championship was in 2018. Gary Andrews trying to get his first as the Legends head coach as he tries to build this team up after the departure of Shabazz Khalik at the end of the 2017-2018 season. Bates missed the free throw, and all alone for the rebound was Rodney Jones. Johnson trying to cross up Reese. Had different guys guarding him all night long. Now Schmenk comes with some help side. Johnson finds some help with Javion Davenport. Again, the Legends looking for a patient possession. Johnson went to the ground, but a foul was called on the Bruins. Their next one would put the Legends in the double bonus. Ahmad Salam will check in. That's Jaden Schmenk who's called for the foul. It's his third. Keon Bates will head to the bench as Salam comes in for him. Gary Andrews keeping Jackson Fugate in the game. Fugate's got 4 fouls today. He was the hero of last night's game against Snyder. Tate couldn't hit the front end. Tate's done a lot of good tonight, but that time unable to connect. Alexander for 3. It's short. Johnson collects. He'll let Davenport take it. Well, Northside is playing out this fourth quarter rather smart. Davenport going to the basket. He gets fouled. For the most part, they haven't gone quick like that here in the fourth quarter. They've just let time take off the clock. But that time, Davenport went for the attack and did draw the foul, and that will get Northside into the double bonus. That was Jaden Schmenk's 4th foul of the game, by the way. Davenport true on that first try. Goes 2 for 2 in an 18-point lead for Northside, their biggest of the game. Schmenk was fouled from behind. That's Johnson. He had been able to keep from committing any fouls in this second half until that one. That's his third. He committed 4 last night. But Johnson's put in a great second half today. 24 points for the game as a whole. 8 of those points coming here in the second half as Schmenk connects on his first free throw. That was the 9th team foul against Northside. So the next foul will put Northrop into the double bonus. Goes 1 for 2. Alexander collects, and he gets fouled, and he will shoot 2. Going to call it on Eugene Young, and that's Young's 4th foul. So even with the big lead, Northside's guys getting into foul trouble. They got 2 guys who have committed 4 fouls in this one, Eugene Young and Jackson Fugate. Well, Wayne's still leading Homestead, but right now it's a 38-33 score in the third quarter. So Homestead's not going away. You would not expect them to. Salam with the rebound off the miss, but he's blocked by Young. Alexander up with it, and he's fouled. And Eugene Young Jr. just fouled out of the game. A much more comfortable lead today for Northside. And I don't think they had anybody foul out last night. Though Tate Johnson did commit 4 fouls. He never got his 5th. Eugene Young Jr. gets his 5th tonight. And Dalman Alexander goes right back to the free throw line. And he drains the first one. Keon Bates will head to the scorer's table. Lawrence goes 2 for 2 on that trip to the line. Excuse me, Alexander does. This is a full timeout. We'll take it right along with you. It's called by Northrop. You're watching sectional basketball here on SummitCitySports.com.
I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to ihsaafoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Well, here at Carroll, it's 60-45 in Northside's favor, but over in Columbia City, Homestead has just made it a 1-point game against Wayne. They're down 38-37. Generals got all they could handle from Southside earlier today, and now they're getting all they can handle from Homestead. But Northside here at Carroll looks like they're about to claim a sectional championship. They're 2.5 minutes away from the final. Fouls called here against the Bruins. It's going to send Davenport to the line, and they call it on Donleray Reese. And Javion Davenport able to knock down the first free throw. Davenport's done a lot of good when he's been on the court in this tournament. He goes 2 for 2 on this trip to the line. 62-45. Well, it's still a 10-point game over at Garrett. Concordia's leading Woodland 31-21 now. Alexander trying to spin around, and he hits the jump shot. Hits it falling away. Another impressive night for Alexander. He's got 18 points for this game. Fugate across the timeline. And that's poked away and stolen. To the basket goes Reese, and it's blocked by Fugate. And Schmenk gets fouled, and that's going to be on Fugate, and now he has fouled out of the game. Fugate becomes the second legend to foul out of this game. Ivan Hood will check back in. Of course, Ivan Hood does give the Legends some good size. He's listed at 6'3", although looking at him not too far away from Tate Johnson, I think he might have an inch on him. Schmenk sinks his first free throw. Still a minute 54 left. Well, what a turn of events has happened over at Adams Central. Hunter Sosenheimer giving us this update. Blackhawk Christian now leads 27-18 over Adams Central. I believe that game's in the third quarter. Second free throw rims out. They'll let Tate bring it across the timeline, and he'll get by Lawrence. Tate directing traffic. He's got Schmenk on him. .90 seconds to go in this ball game. Northside trying to capture their first sectional title since 2018 when Shabazz Khalik coached the team. And now Schmenk commits the foul from behind. And now Jaden Schmenk has fouled out of the game. He's the first Northrop player to do so. Northside's already had a couple of guys foul out, and Schmenk gets a big embrace from his head coach, Rod Shamble. He is a senior who will be playing in essentially his final game as a Northrop Bruin. Tate's free throw rims out. He'll get one more, though. It's double bonus. Hayden Lepley will come back in. Second free throw, no good. Tate came into this tournament shooting at over 70% from the free throw line. That's poked away. It's Johnson. And Johnson with a little punctuation. .26 points in the game for Johnson, and Jones got up there to block that shot. That ball's taken away by Bates. They lob it down the floor. Lawrence tracked it down but knocked it out. Knocked it right to Dave Ginder. Ginder's the head baseball coach here at Carroll, the longtime head baseball coach, and also the brother of athletic director Dan Ginder, as the starters will go to the bench for the most part. Their day is done. 51.2 seconds to go. Tate Johnson and Bodie Dickerson both head to the bench. Michael Dye will check in, as will Jordan Woods. Delman Alexander gets a breather, and this will be his final game as a Northrop Bruin. He's a senior, leading scorer on this team this year. Dallas Lawrence also goes to the bench. He's got one more year. He's a junior, and Lawrence shows a lot of promise. He's quick, he defends well. Could provide a big boost to the Bruins come next year. This is Javion Davenport handling the point here for Northside. Tate Johnson's going to finish this game with 26 points. That floater won't go for Woods. Bruins come back down the floor. Devontae Carter with the pull-up jumper. It's short. Davenport gathers along the baseline. And now all Northside needs to do is cross the timeline, and they do just that. Now Devontae Carter is playing some tight defense there on Javion Davenport, and really all Northside needed to do at this point was just dribble out the clock. They'll still have a chance to do that as Davenport looks to put the ball in play. I think the Legends might want one more basket here, but the ball goes out of bounds with 6.4. Legends are going to win this game, but Northrop's going to get one more possession before it ends. It's Devontae Carter across the timeline. It's going to be Kobe Hudson to take the final shot. That's your ball game. The Northside Legends are moving on to regionals at Logansport. Their opponent is to be determined, but the Legends with their first sectional championship since 2018 when Shabazz Khalik was the head coach. And you knew this was going to be a tough game for Northside because Northrop battled with Northside in the regular season. They got a good battle from Snyder last night, but Northside this time was able to close it out, put together a great run in the second quarter, and really they never looked back from that point on. Our Parkview Sports Medicine player of the game is going to be Bryante Johnson. He finishes this game with 26 points. Easily the leading scorer, had a great outing when it was all said and done. Johnson, your Parkview Sports Medicine player of the game. Well, we're going to stay with you. We'll hope to get an interview with head coach Gary Andrews in a matter of moments. Right now he's down on the court, and the Northside players are going to cut down the nets. You're watching high school sectional basketball, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I just want to be the best in basketball. So I want to be the greatest of all time to play women's basketball. So I just know there's people out there working just as much as me. So I just want to keep working hard and keep that intensity going. And so one day I can pursue my dreams of being in the WNBA and playing overseas. So I just want bigger things to come in my life.
I remember when I started in March, she could do 0 pull-ups. She did have a great 25-inch vertical when she first started. She only weighed 150 pounds. One of our main mottos is do the simple things exceedingly well, and that's where we started. So we started the foundation, building her base, and now we've got to basically the peak of our pyramid of things that we can do with her. So we didn't skip any levels. We did all the basics, and she got really, really good at them, and that's what's led her to become as great as she is at basketball and performance.
I've watched her grow, the confidence-wise, the strength-wise, the jumping ability, her footwork. It's really amazing to kind of watch for a girl her size, being 6'3", 6'4", to move like she can move and do the thing and be as agile as she is, along with the strength.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcast. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
At the University of St. Francis, you'll find everything you need to succeed, from business, nursing and science, to the arts, all with a 99% career success rate.
You belong here. Here.
Here.
I belong here.
Has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
Welcome back, folks. I'm joined by head coach Gary Andrews of the Northside Legends, champions of Class 4A Sectional 5 here at Carroll High School. Coach Andrews, first of all, congratulations on the win. It took a lot of you knew this was going to be a tight game coming in because of how Northside played you in the regular season, 1-point game. But this time you were able to kind of stretch the lead out in the second quarter and really didn't look back from that.
I mean, I thought we played really well. You know, the time we beat them before, we didn't have Eugene or Jackson. They were both hurt. So I thought it was just a big win. Really proud of our kids. We just battled, played good defense, and once we got the lead, we didn't let it get back in it.
Bronte Johnson, you know, he only had 6 points in the first game, but the last two games, double digits both nights, 20-plus both nights. How impressed are you with what Johnson has done both tonight and last night on the court?
I mean, he played great the last two nights. He really took the ball to the basket, and they really couldn't guard him. And to win a section, if you got to win 3 games, you're going to have different people step up different nights. And that's what we told the kids, and that's why I was so proud. You know, like Jordan King barely played the first 2 games. He came in tonight and gave us some good minutes, and, you know, we're starting to get healthier and, you know, get deeper into our bench. And, you know, we'll get another week of practice next week, so I'm really excited for playing in the regionals next week.
Well, speaking of different guys stepping up, Jackson Fugate was the guy who stepped up in last night's semifinal against Snyder. I think it was 13 points in the second half, and he's really had a great season, part of that junior class that is so strong for you guys. How valuable has Jackson been to your team this year?
Well, he's been great, and, you know, he missed probably 15, 16 games. I mean, I really think if Jackson would have been healthy all year, we might only have 3 or 4 losses. You know, we only got him back about a couple weeks ago, and he can score. He plays great defense. He can hit the outside shot. He's a good passer. He's just a really good all-around player, and, you know, we're really glad to have him back.
Well, I think we're still waiting to find out who the opponent's going to be next week, but we do know that you're going to Logansport. Whoever the opponent happens to be, how excited are you to get these guys ready for Logansport on Saturday?
I mean, I'm really excited. Like I said, we're starting to get healthier, and it seems like we get better and better every day in practice. So now we get a whole week next week, and, you know, we're going to come out. We got nothing to lose next Saturday. You know, if it's Kokomo, they're ranked in the top 5. Everybody else will be saying we have no chance, but I wouldn't count us out.
Well, Coach Andrews, thanks for joining me, and we'll let you go celebrate with your team.
Thank you.
Head coach Gary Andrews of the Northside Legends joining me for a little post-game interview as the Northside Legends are champions of the Class 4A Sectional 5 tournament. That was Jackson Fugate just cutting down the net there for Northside. They, again, knock off the Northrop Bruins to claim the sectional championship here at Carroll. More to come in just a matter of moments. You are watching high school basketball on SummitCitySports.com.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Northside beats Northrop 64-48, 64-48 the final. And Northside will go to Logansport for regionals next week. Don't yet know who the opponent might be. Last we saw, Wayne and Homestead were still battling over there at Columbia City. Homestead had made it a 1-point game after Wayne had led for most of the game. But here, it was a close game in the first quarter, but then in the second quarter, Northside really started to string some scoring possessions together, thanks in large part to turnovers. Bronte Johnson able to force one. Northside used some 2-3 zone, some 1-3-1 zone to force some difficult passes from Northrop, and that helped Northside kind of stretch the lead out and really never look back after that point. As we mentioned, J.J. Johnson's our Parkview Sports Medicine player of the game. He finishes his team with 26 points. Javion Davenport finishes with 11 off the bench. Jackson Fugate with 10. Eugene Young with 8. Brayshawn Bassett and Bodie Dickerson get 2 apiece. Rodney Jones with 3. Jordan King with 2. Dalman Alexander, he plays his final game for Northrop, but it ends up being a good one. 18 points for him. Dallas Lawrence with 11. Jaden Schmenk with 9. Keon Bates with 5. Now for Northrop, they're going to graduate some quality players. Jaden Schmenk and Dalman Alexander are both seniors, but Dallas Lawrence, he's likely going to be back on the team again next year. He's a junior. He scored 11 points tonight. He's averaged over 9 points per game this season, and he's also a really good defender. He could help give Northrop a big edge on the defensive side. Ahmad Salam is a sophomore. Don LeRae Reese is a freshman. Those guys are quick. They can shoot very well also. They can drive to the basket and defend well. So Rod Chamble's definitely going to have some talent next year. It's largely going to be talent that was not starting but was on the court. Of course, Dallas Lawrence was a starter throughout most of this year, but Rod Chamble is likely going to have a very young team next year. We'll see how that team does, how they build up over the course of their time at Northrop. But for Northside, got a lot of juniors who will likely be coming back next year, including Tay Johnson, Eugene Young, and Jackson Fugate. And again, we do wish the best to Jordan Green. He will not be seeing the court at any point for the rest of the season. He's got a torn ACL. He's out for the year. He's put in a great career, averaged over 15 points per game before he went out with that season-ending ACL. But Johnson, Fugate, and Young all likely to be back on the team next year, and how dangerous could the Legends be when those guys come back? But the focus right now is getting to Logansport, preparing for regionals, and possibly moving on to semi-state if they can get the win there at Logansport. Tonight, Northside wins 64-48. A little score update here. Concordia is leading Woodland 44-33 in the third quarter. Woodland's never out of a game, even when they're down double figures. We last heard Wayne was leading against Homestead, but not by much. Check on that score here in just a second. Last checked, it was a 1-point lead for Wayne. Now it's a 3-point lead. 52-49, they're in the fourth quarter. When we last heard, Blackhawk Christian was leading at Adams Central. But here, Northside beats Northrop 64-48, and that is going to do it from Carroll High School. For my camera operator, Lindley Kistler, this is Thad Goff saying so long from Carroll. You've been watching the Class 4A Sectional 5 Championship game, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com and IHSAATV.org.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcasts. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
Area sports looked a lot different back in 1952 when Jim Kelly opened his first dealership in Fort Wayne. 70 years later, that original dealership has grown into the Kelly Automotive Group with 14 brands in 3 locations, including our new Fort Wayne Auto Mall and Kelly Chevrolet on Lima Road. Fort Wayne continues to support our local teams and businesses. Thank you for 70 years. We could have never done it without you. Visit us today at drivekelly.com.